Okay, good morning, you amazing humans, guys. It is Friday. It is the start of December. We've had a pretty amazing week. It's been a challenging week, no lies. We are trying a bunch of new systems, we're trying a bunch of new software, we're trying a bunch of new things just to step it up a gear for DVDM markets. Again, everything we're currently doing right now is in preparation for 2024, right? We didn't want to go and hide for 2 months and do a bunch of testing. We wanted to make sure you guys could see the development with us and that we could get your feedback. And this is the most important part. And just a massive thank you to everybody who's provided your feedback of what you've seen, of what you've loved, of what you haven't loved quite so much, and just about how we can make your lives easier. Remember, everything we do at DVD Markets is primarily designed for you as a trader, whether you're new, whether you're existing in the market, to try and make your life easier. You know, what things can we do as a business to make your life easier as a trader, to make that journey from going from wondering about the markets to profitability faster and better than ever before. So just a massive shout out and thank you for your comments. Thank you for your feedback, the good stuff as well as the bad stuff, and probably even more so the bad stuff, right? Where you're struggling with trades, or you find the trades are too often or too frequent or too small. We appreciate that. We listen very, very intensely, and it takes one message, guys, to me or to the team to make us shift what it is that what we do. So we are busy with some new systems to try and have a look at this next week. How do we make things even better, even easier, right? So two major things that are going to be happening over this next week. The first thing is we're going to start to set these probability zones, right? So we're going to be able to essentially tell you that around these hours in a day is when we're going to see the most trade activity. That's the first thing out the gate. So the first change that we're making, we realized that over this last week, we've probably generated about 100 positions, and they're all over the show, right? The early hours of the morning, late at night, middle of the day, 11, 10, etc., right? Our own team is struggling with actually producing and getting out some of these trades. So I can only imagine for you as a trader sitting there at home, at work, kids, children, traffic, whatever the case may be, it may have been slightly challenging. So the first thing is we're going to highlight these kill zones, or these times that we see the most volume, where we can say to you, hey, there's more than likely going to be trades between 9 and 10, between 1 and 2, between 4 and 6, as an example. That's the first thing. The second thing is we're going to start to structure the trades a little bit better, in the sense that yes, there'll be some scalps, but generally speaking, guys, I'm not a person who enjoys to scalp, right? I enjoy to take a trade, I enjoy to sit back, I enjoy to carry on with my life and run the business and live and enjoy my family, etc. So I'm not personally too much of a fan of scalping, but I know there are scalpers out there. So we will continue with the scalps. However, we will start to throw in some more day trades that end up, you know, materializing over 2-3 days. And certainly we're going to add in a lot more swing positions, right? I think that's crucially important. Now, the beautiful thing about having day trades and swing positions is they're not as sensitive in terms of when we take those trades. So this means that for Premium Plus clients, when we look in the afternoons at the US session, right, we're going to be able to trade the US session. I'm going to try and allocate more time this next week, that at least for 2 or 3 days in the next week, be it maybe Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday afternoons with Premium Plus, we will sit and trade for about 2 hours. So over and above a signal being generated, but we will take some of those swings. You can then see the opportunity on Premium Plus. You can go and rewatch the video if you want a little bit more insight as to why we took that trade. So that's my commitment to you. I really want to get back into really spending time with you guys in the markets, live trading, live positions, dealing with those trades with you guys in the markets. There's also been some critical feedback that we've heard. We hear you, we listen, we understand, and we will deliver. So a lot of things we're going to tweak over this next week. But again, most importantly, this community is for you guys. What you would like to see is what we would like to deliver, right? At the end of the day, we wish to dominate the markets, not just in South Africa, not just Africa, but globally, as a service that traders can genuinely rely on and really, really make sure that they fully understand. Now, something I'm very, very excited to announce, guys, we're going to be doing a very, very special live broadcast next week. We're going to have a show, and essentially we're going to be exposing every single broker in Southern Africa, if not even in the world, right? We're going to have a very, very deep discussion about brokers, and I feel there's a time and a moment and a place, and that time is now, people to truly understand the inner workings of a broker, right? Not the light, creamy stuff or the light-heartedness, but really the true inner workings of a broker, right? What happens, and even getting to hear from some people within brokerages themselves of some of the practices and experiences they've seen of, you know, what their goals are. How do they force clients to make deposits? How do they stop clients from making withdrawals? How do they have targets over how much clients must lose, etc.? It's going to be mind-blowing stuff. Now we're setting this up for next week, Wednesday evening, and you're going to be hearing from people that have worked within brokerages, as well as listening from people who've had really bad experiences and why we warn for what we warn for, why we made the changes we've changed, and why we've moved to a pure STP environment, right? Because I feel like people aren't getting it, right? Now, again, if you want to be set up and sorted in the most ethical, trustworthy environment, not even in Southern Africa, but potentially even in the world, and again, you want to get down in the link below to the TDM Markets live account link. Go open up that link. You'll be part of the DVDM Markets banner. You'll be protected. You'll make sure you get the best possible services, the best possible pure STP environment in the world right now. Now, that event is going to be live. We're going to be hosting that on YouTube. You're going to be hearing from people. You're going to be hearing from CEOs of other companies. You're going to be hearing from other traders, some bad experiences, some good experiences, and a whole bunch in between. That'll be on Wednesday. We will announce that. But it's going to be big. It's going to be massive. We want to encourage you to invite anybody who you feel needs to understand a bit more about why it is important to be with the broker. We're seeing a lot of these new brands busy popping up. We're going to tell you exactly how they operate, what their goal is, and why do we see, some of these Instagram people, pushing these entities that they call that they own. How are they making their money, right? That is the big question. Follow the money and you'll understand why something even exists in the first place. So that'll be happening on Wednesday. It's been a very big week. Let's quickly just touch on why I'm so excited for December, because I believe there's going to be some big market moves that we are going to be able to capitalize on across the board. So first and foremost, right, stocks post their best month since 2022, right? And we spoke about this last week. In the course of this week, they're saying, oh, but this November rally may be coming to an end. Again, I've been very, very bullish across the board on indices, gold, etc. Now, why this is such a big deal is that the Fed has pivoted. A large point of the discussion points has really been about 90% of the weights. What the Fed has been discussing is, at what point will they stop raising interest rates? That was the big discussion. What is happening now is the next big sort of ideal focus point now is that when will the Fed start cutting interest rates? Now, there was an amazing YouTube video I watched pretty late last night about the last 50, 60 recessions and how, scary it is to see that the raising and dropping of interest rates has really been truly responsible for some of the biggest, financial market disasters in history, right? We talk about, we'll get into that. I'll share the video. It's far too good to recreate. I'd rather just share it with you guys. You guys can get into it. But in essence, it seems like the US, as well as the rest of the world, has unscathed this, inflation thing fairly unscathed. And that means that markets across the board have really got some good legs to run. December being an opportunity haven for traders. If you haven't traded Decembers, if you take Decembers off and you go sit on the beach, whatever the case may be, great for you, but they represent a ton of opportunities. So I'm super excited for December, super excited to see how today closes off the markets. Now, generally speaking, we look for Fridays for markets to kind of give back some of the gains that have been made in the previous week, right? Now, if we look at last week, Friday, NASDAQ, right, really sort of took a tumble last Friday, right? Gave back some of those gains in the afternoon. Over the US 30 performed extremely well. Gold performed extremely well. So we would generally expect today, roundabout at the start of the US session, for some of these markets to give back some of these gains. But just looking at how strong and optimistic the markets are right now, I'm not counting that one in, right? As you guys know, I don't trade too much personally myself on a Friday, just because, again, we see a lot of price action breaks. We see a lot of chaos. Fridays, I generally start to sort of mentally get into the weekend, really start to prepare to sort of wind down and cool off. So just a word of note, just a word of caution. Now, you guys have been following Elon. He's not in the news right now this morning, but yesterday, I think it was even the day before potentially, Elon was caught pretty much in his, I would say, movement around the world, movement around these different news media outlets, obviously apologizing for some of the comments with regards to what is happening in terms of the war. He was, this whole Twitter advertiser thing was brought out, and he basically just said, screw the advertisers, they mustn't put their money in, just basically F them, right? So Elon, I think, is a little bit overstepping there. So it's gonna be interesting to see what happens right now at the moment with regards to the share price. Well, not necessarily the share price, because Twitter, otherwise known as X, is obviously unlisted, but how that knock-on effect will be for Tesla, for SpaceX, for SolarCity, for some of these other brands that he owns, considering that it's obviously a liability, having somebody who just comes out there and just says F advertisers, which is one of X's biggest revenue streams. It's gonna be interesting to see how that plays out. So all in all, I think it's been an incredible month for November. I think we're about to see some amazing things for the course of December. And guys, please, for December, don't get caught up into this Black Friday, spend all your money type of thing, right? You guys know the drill. For those of you who know what it's all about, most things get marked up before Black Friday, and then they mark it down to actual normal pricing. Just encouraging people to spend a lot more than what they really should, right? Go ahead, save your money, be wise. It's going to be a tough new year for a lot of people around the world, entering into this new economy, this new stage of life where interest rates are fairly high. Things will start to get better, things will start to simmer down, but be wise with your money, right? If you haven't not traded before, you think about getting into it, you want to start small, right? So I'd generally say to people, start on a demo account, start at $100 and build your way up, right? True trading starts from about $1,000, $10,000 up in there. So until you get to that level, you are in the testing phases, right? You are in the playground, right? Anything go wrong, you make a small mistake and lose what you've got. So take it slow. It's a great time to learn over December. There's extra time. Obviously, we will be here as part of DVDM Markets, as always, doing our live shows with some opportunities in the markets, with some new education, etc. Now, next week, we will be launching Golden Nugget V3, and that is essentially 2 times a day that you can rely on potentially killing the markets and have an exact structure of what you need to follow. So Golden Nugget V3 will be launched over this next week, as well as we're going to start, as I said earlier, and as I started off, these very specific set time zones that we're going to be able to trade with you guys, and you can expect trades to come through. So that's going to be things we're going to be working on this weekend. We have a fairly busy weekend planned ourselves, so please keep us as always in your prayers as we keep you in ours. Guys, we appreciate you as always. Share the love, the comments in the videos. We know a ton of people watch after the fact. We know a ton of people share, but go ahead and share the love in the videos. Let us know where in the world you're watching us from. How was your trading week? And what would you like to see from DVDM Markets in the future and moving forward? If you have not done so already, TDM Markets live account link is down in the description below, as well as in our social area. If you're not there, you're missing out. And until I see you guys on Monday, pounds for breakfast, you know the drill. I love you. Trade safe. I'll see you all a little bit later. Goodbye.